itu yang ada tu kecilan orang English. ये राधे को बाहर निकाल के रखा है मैंने। लो ये वाला प्रभु जी का, ये वाला और दूसरा है see? No, but he showed me something. Not this one, right? Okay. तेरा ये जरूर नहीं। No need here. Oh, start करना पड़ेगा ना यहाँ पे।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, जशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, जमुना तीरा वनचारी, जमुना तीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा, जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदा भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसति गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अंतर्वी मायापुर धाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। समावेद भक्त वृंद की जय। गौ प्रेमानंदे all gurus to assemble devotees, all gurus to assemble devotees, all gurus to assemble devotees, all gurus to Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Sri Sri Radha Govinda Temple. This evening, our sponsor doesn't want to give his name, but he is one of the congregation member and always helps us in different events. So he has arranged to give for this particular Gita reading. Pretty soon, on 14th of December, we are going to celebrate Gita Jayanti. That is the day Bhagavad Gita was actually spoken. And 2 days before, that's on Sunday, before 14th of December, we are going to have presentation of children, as well as we will be doing a fire sacrifice, chanting verses from Bhagavad Gita. So please be there and join us for Gita Jayanti event also. We have already mailed you. If you don't receive the mail, please try to remember these are the 2 days, and please try to come and join. Now, without further delay, let's start reading Bhagavad Gita. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Spapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanti Radha Kanti Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So let's also ask for the blessings from 6 Goswamis. Nana Shastra Vicharane Kanipuno Saddharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarano Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanya Karo Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajanan Nandana Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Today is chapter 14th of Bhagavad Gita as it is. And you will be surprised the potency of those verses that we have selected. And as I read, Arjuna is asking 3 questions in a row. He is asking, Keralingastrina gunanetam atito bhavati prabho kinachara katham chaityam trina gunanati vartate. Arjuna inquired, "O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes of material nature? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the mode of nature?" So there are three questions. He's asking of the symptoms of the person. How do we really recognize that this is a person who has transcended three modes of material nature? Second question is, what is his behavior? What is his activities? And the third is, how does he transcend the modes of nature? What is the way, what is the means of achieving the stage of transcending the modes of material nature? The purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, Arjuna's questions are very appropriate. He wants to know the symptoms of the person who has already transcended the material modes. He first inquires of symptoms of such transcendental person. How can we understand that he has already transcended the influence of the modes of material nature? The second question asks how he lives and what his activities are. Are they regulated or non-regulated? Then Arjuna inquires of the means by which he can attain the transcendental nature. That is very important. Unless one knows the direct means by which one can be situated always transcendently, there is no possibility of showing the symptoms. So all these questions put by Arjuna are very important, and the Lord answers them. What are the answers? Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava nadvesti sampravruttani na nivruttani kankshati udasina vadasina Gunaryo na vichalyate gunavartant ityevam yovatistati nengate samadukha sukha swasta samalostasmakanchana tulya priya priyodira Tulya nindatma sansruti Mana mapana tulya Tulya mitrari pakshaya Sarvaramba parityagi Gunatita cha uchyate. So here definition of Gunatit is given. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of material nature. So this is actually a very, very wonderful verse that we are going through. Okay. So, if I ask you a question that do we really know anyone like that? Have we ever met someone matching these qualities of a Gunatit? I have been thinking last 3 days, but I was not able to pinpoint any particular person. And finally, I was listening to one bhajan, and I was sure that that is the person we should know who has transcended all the 3 qualities of material nature. And he is the one who is worthy to be called a Gunatit. So, I will try to remember those words of that bhajan, and I will try to sing for you just to convince you that what I think is right. The bhajan goes like that. Here in this particular verse, there are 4 pair of opposites are mentioned. 4 pair of opposites. What are they? Sukh, dukh, happiness and distress. Second one is man, apaman, respect and disrespect. Harsh, shok, pleasure and pain. And sanstuti, ninda, praise and censure. These are the 4 pair of opposites. If the person can remain balanced among these 4 opposites, then he can remain balanced in this world undeviated. Why? Because the whole world is made up of duality. Always pair of opposites are there in every matter, every step you walk in this world. But these 4 are the main one, that if you can control on them, then you will be able to control any of the pair of opposites in this world. And I believe that Srila Prabhupada was a person who had transcended all these pair of opposites that is mentioned in this particular verse. So I will sing it for you. And please listen in a prayerful mood, because that is for our Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, Guru. Guru Maharaj, Guru. Jai Jai Param Brahma Sadguru. Jai Jai Param Brahma Sadguru. Srila Prabhupada Guru. Srila Prabhupada Guru. Jai Jai Paramahansa Sadguru. Jai Jai Paramahansa Sadguru. Charo mukti dak data. Charo mukti dak data. Charo mukti dak data. Taru kalpataru. Taru kalpataru. 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 Guru Maharaj Guru. Jai Jai Param Brahma Sadguru. Srila Prabhupada Guru. Jai Jai Paramahansa Sadguru. Pradakshana प्रणाम करुणा प्रदक्षिण प्रणाम करुणा तत्वाक्षर परात्पर गुरु तत्वाक्षर परात्पर गुरु परात्पर गुरु परात्पर गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद गुरु जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु आत्मा रामी राधानाथ आत्मा रामी राधनाथ गोपाल करुणा करो गोपाल करुणा करो करुणा करो करुणा करो गुरु महाराज गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु शील प्रभुपाद गुरु शील प्रभुपाद गुरु जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु सुख दुख दोनों सम कर जाने सुख दुख दोनों सम कर जाना आर मान अपमान और मान अपमान हर्ष शोक से रहती तंग हर्ष शोक से रहती तंग तीन जग तत्व पिछाना तीन जग तत्व पिछाना गुरु महाराज गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु शील प्रभुपाद गुरु शील प्रभुपाद गुरु जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु संस्तुति निंदा दो त्यागी संस्तुति निंदा दो त्यागी खोज पद निर्वाण खोज पद निर्वाण जन नानक यहु खेल कठिन है जन नानक यहु खेल कठिन है को गुरुमुख जाना को गुरुमुख जाना गुरु महाराज गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु, जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु। श्रील प्रभुपाद गुरु, श्रील प्रभुपाद गुरु, जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु, जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु। परम ब्रह्म गुरु, जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु। गुरु महाराज गुरु, जय जय परम ब्रह्म सद्गुरु, जय जय परमहंस सद्गुरु। So we saw the four opposites, pair of opposites, Sukha Dukha, Man Apman, Harsha Shok, Sanstuti, Ninda, means the happiness and distress, respect and disrespect, pleasure and pain, and praise and censure. Who could remain balanced? And when we read Prabhupada Lilamrita, every step we realize that this is a person who had conquered three modes of material nature. So, purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, he says, Arjuna submitted three different questions, and the Lord answers them one after another. In these verses, Krishna first indicates that a person transcendently situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. Srila Prabhupada, when he came, he says, I have not come here to get something. I have come here to give you something. When a living entity stays in this material world, embodied by material body, it is to be understood that he is under control of one of these three modes of material nature. When he is actually out of the body, then he is out of the clutches of the material modes of material nature. But as long as he is not out of the material body, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord, so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for sense gratification. But when one transfers the consciousness to Krishna, sense gratification automatically stops. One does not need this material body, and he does not need to accept the dictations of the material body. The qualities of the material modes of body will act, but as spirit soul, the self is aloof from such activities. How does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus, transcendently situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He need not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. The next question concerns the dealings of the transcendently situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to body, but the transcendently situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity for anything material, either a stone or a gold. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of the Krishna consciousness. And he does not hate his so-called enemy. He is equally disposed and sees everything on an equal level because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of the temporary upheavals and disturbances. He does not attempt anything for his own sake. He can attempt anything for Krishna, but for his personal self, he does not attempt anything. By such behavior, one becomes actually transcendently situated. He further keeps going and explaining, one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and then comes to the level of Brahman. This verse is a reply to Arjuna's third question. What is the means of attaining to the transcendental position? As explained before, the material world is acting under the spell of modes of material nature. One should not be disturbed by the activities of the modes of nature. Instead of putting his consciousness into such activities, he may transfer his consciousness to Krishna activities. Krishna activities are known as Bhakti Yoga, always acting for Krishna. This includes not only Krishna, but its different plenary expansions such as Rama and Narayan. His innumerable expansions. One who is engaged in service of any form of the Krishna or of his plenary expansions is considered to be transcendently situated. One should also note that all the forms of Krishna are fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge, and eternal. Such personalities of Godhead are omnipotent and omniscient, and they possess all transcendental qualities. So if one engages himself in the service of Krishna or his plenary expansions with unfailing determination, all of these modes of material natures are very difficult to overcome. One can overcome them easily. This has already been explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto Krishna at once surmounts the influence of the modes of material nature. To be in Krishna consciousness or in devotional service means to acquire equality with Krishna. The Lord says that his nature is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. And the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme. As gold particles are part of the gold mine, thus the living entity in his spiritual position is as good as gold, as good as Krishna in quality. The difference of individually continued. Otherwise, there will be no question of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means that the Lord is there, the devotee is there, and the activity of the exchange of love between Lord and the devotee is there. Therefore, the individuality of two persons is present in Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the individual person otherwise, there would be no meaning to Bhakti Yoga. If one is not situated in same transcendental position with Lord, one cannot serve the Supreme Lord. To be a personal assistant to a king, one must acquire the qualifications. Thus the qualification is to become Brahman or freed from all material contamination. It is said in Vedic literatures, Brahmana evsan Brahmavi iti. One can attain the Supreme Brahman by becoming a Brahmin. This means that one must qualitatively become one with the Brahman by attaining of the Brahman, one does not lose his eternal Brahman identity as an individual soul. So this is again a very, very wonderful verse we read. The verse was Manchayo vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samityatan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So this was a very important question asked by Arjuna, that all right, we just learn about the transcendental nature and achievements of Srila Prabhupada through a beautiful bhajan. But question is how to achieve the same stage. Can we achieve that stage? Srila Prabhupada says anybody can achieve that stage. Krishna continues. Brahmano hi pratistaham amrutasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya kandikasya cha. And I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, which is important, imperishable and eternal, and is a constitutional position of ultimate happiness. The concentration of Brahman is immortality, imperishability, eternity, and happiness. Brahman is the beginning of the transcendental relation. Paramatma, Supersoul, is the middle, the second stage in transcendental realization. And Supreme Personality Godhead is ultimate realization of absolute truth. So it happens in 3 stages. I will repeat for you so we all remember that. Brahman is the beginning of transcendental realization. The second one is Paramatma. The super soul is the middle, the second stage in transcendental realization. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate realization of Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the ultimate realization of the absolute truth. Therefore, both Paramatma and impersonal Brahman are within Supreme Person. It is explained in the 7th chapter that material nature is the manifestation of the inferior nature of the Supreme Lord. The Lord impregnates the inferior material nature with fragments of the superior nature, and that is spiritual torch in the material nature. When a living entity conditioned by this material nature begins the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, he elevates himself from the position of the material existence and gradually rises up to the Brahman conception of the Supreme. This attainment of Brahman conception of life is the first stage of self-realization. At this stage, the Brahman realized person is transcendental to material position, but he is not actually perfect in Brahman realization. If he wants, he can continue to stay in Brahman position and then gradually rise up to Paramatma realization and then to realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many examples of this Vedic literatures. The 4 Kumaras were situated first in the impersonal Brahman conception of truth, but then they gradually rose to the platform of devotional service. One who cannot elevate himself beyond the impersonal conception of Brahman runs the risk of falling down. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated that all the person may rise to the stage of impersonal Brahman without going further without no information, Supreme Person, his intelligence is not perfectly clear. Therefore, in spite of being raised to the Brahman platform, there is a chance of falling down if one is not engaged in devotional service of the Lord. In the Vedic language, it is also said, Rasove saham, rasam hi evayam labhyandi bhavati. When one understands the personality of Godhead, the reservoir of pleasure Krishna, he actually becomes transcendently blissful. The Supreme Lord is full in 6 opulences, and when a devotee approaches him, there is an exchange of these 6 opulences. The servant of the king enjoys on an almost equal level with the king, and so eternal happiness, imperishable happiness, and eternal life accompany devotional service. Therefore, realization of Brahman or eternity or imperishability is included in devotional service. This is already possessed by a person who is engaged in devotional service. So, besides Srila Prabhupada, we can also think of some other personalities who are deeply involved in the Krishna conscious activities and deeply involved in the preaching of science of Krishna consciousness. The other personality I can think of is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he also believes in the atonement, that the way we live the life with or in midst of these 3 modes of material nature sometimes become very sinful. And that's why there is a provision in our religion about alochana. What is alochana? That we have to sit in front of the Lord and we have to actually confess and list the number of the sinful activities that we have committed. That is alochana. Describe your sinful activities. And then pratikramana, atonement, that I'm so sorry, I was victim of these 3 modes of material nature and I've committed such and such lusty activities. And the final is, first is alochana pratikramana, and then last is pratyakhyana. And you promise yourself and the Lord that you will never ever commit those kind of activities again in this life. So I learned this about Bhaktivinoda Thakur through his beautiful bhajan, and it goes like this. This is just again to prove that there are, in the whole Guru Parampara, every one of them are wonderful personalities that we have to look up to and learn something from them. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, আমার জীবন সদা পাপের নাহে কো পুণ্যের লেশা আমার জীবন সদা পাপের নাহে কো পুণ্যের লেশা পরের উদ্বেগ দয়াচি ঝেকত দয়াচি জীবের ক্লেশা আমার জীবন সদা পাপের নাহে কো পুণ্যের লেশা নিজে সুখ লাগি পাপ নাহি ডরি दोया ही न स्वार्थ पारो, निज सुख लागी पाप नहीं डोरी। Excuse me. निज सुख लागी पाप नहीं डोरी, दोया ही न स्वार्थ पारो, पर सुख दुखी सदा मिठा चाई, पर दुख सुख कारू। अमर जीवन सदा पापे रट, नायक पुण्य लेशु। So my voice is not cooperating, so better we forget about this bhajan. I will never be able to sing it, so maybe we should go back to the reading part. So, about the three modes of material nature, Krishna continues, and he says, the living entity of the Brahman by nature has the desire to lord it over the material world, and due to this, he falls down in his constitutional position. A living entity is above three modes of material nature, but association with material nature entangles him in the different modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Due to association of these three modes, his desire to dominate the material world is there. By engagement in devotional service in full consciousness, he is immediately situated in the transcendental position, and his unlawful desire to control material nature is removed. Therefore, the process of devotional service, beginning with hearing, chanting, remembering the prescribed 9 methods of realization, devotional service should be practiced in the association of devotees. Gradually, by such association, by the influence of spiritual master, one's material desire to dominate is removed, and one becomes firmly situated in the Lord's transcendent loving service. This method is prescribed from 22nd to the last verse of this chapter. Devotional service to the Lord is very simple. One should always engage in the service of the Lord, should eat the remnant of foodstuffs offered to deity, smell the flowers offered to lotus feet of Lord, see the places where the Lord and his transcendent pastimes, read of different activities of the Lord, the reciprocation of love, which devotees chant always a transcendental vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And observe the fasting days, commemorate the appearances and disappearance of the Lord and his devotees. By following such a process, one becomes completely detached from all material activities. One who can thus situate himself in the Brahmajyoti or the different varieties of the Brahman conception is equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in quality. So, this is a wonderful verse that we had picked up. I will have to also sing the Aarti next time. Right now the offering is being offered. We have a special feast for the benefit of, sponsor and his family. After that, we will be also offering Aarti. Those who are home, they can be ready with what you call incense, ghee lamp, a little water, flour, conch shell, chamar, etc. And as the pujari offers, they should be able to offer also. Some of these words that we went through in this particular verse needs little explanation. First off, you have to understand three things. One is the body, second is the mind, and the third is intelligence. The body perceives objects. As you know, there are sounds, there are touch, forms, tastes, and smell. And we all have all the senses which will recognize them. So body will perceive the objects. The mind always feels the emotions, and the intelligence thinks of thoughts. So the Vedic prayer we always chant is Asatoma Sadagamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyoma Amrutangamaya. Here, the reason that when Krishna answered, he says, Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava na dvesti sampravruttani na nivruttani kankshati. So tamasoma jyotirgamaya, when we talk about the jyoti, it is a prakash, it is the illumination. So, what is that prakasham word? Prakasham is purity of the senses and mind is called prakasha or illumination. It means that illumination is the power which enables the senses to perceive the five objects of senses, the mind to think, and the intellect to judge. The Lord explained two marks of mode of sattva, goodness, and illumination, purity, and knowledge. Out of the two, only illumination has been mentioned here, because in the mode of goodness, illumination occupies a predominant place. Unless there is illumination of purity in the senses, mind and intellect, discrimination is not arose. Illumination arouses knowledge. So knowledge should be included within illumination. And that's why when Krishna answers, he only says, Prakasham cha pravrittim cha meva cha pandava. Haribol, you have mridanga here? Do they have mridanga? Can you play? Because I tried to sing something, but without any company or accompanied by any musical instrument or something, I had to give up. Later on also, when we'll sing the Aarti, we need you to play the mridanga or kartal or anything that you can play. So before we started talking about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and I really feel very guilty if I don't able to sing that particular bhajan, which is dedicated to Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is a Bengali bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. हमारा जीवन सदा पापेरत नाहे को पुण्यर लेशा हमारा जीवन सदा पापेरत नाहे को पुण्यर लेशा परेर उद्वेग दयाची जे करतो दयाची जीबेर क्लेशा परेर उद्वेग दयाची जे करतो दयाची जीबेर क्लेशा निजे सुख लागी पाप नहीं डोरी दयाहीन स्वार्थ परो निजे सुख लागी पाप नहीं डोरी दयाहीन स्वार्थ परो पर दुख दुखी सदा मिथ्या भाषी पर सुख दुखी सदा मिथ्या भाषी पर दुख सुख करो पर दुख सुख करो हमर जीवन सदा पापेरत नाहे को पुण्यर लेशं अशेष कामना हृदय माझे मोर क्रोधी दंभ परायण अशेष कामना हृदय माझे मोर क्रोधी दंभ परायण मद मत सदा विषय मोहिता मद मत सदा विषय मोहिता हिंसा गर्व विभूषण हिंसा गर्व विभूषण अमर जीवन सदा पापेरत नाहे को पुण्यर लेशं निद्रालस्य हट सुकार्य विरत अकार्य उद्योगियामि निद्रालस्य हट सुकार्य विरत अकार्य उद्योगियामि प्रतिष्ठा लागिया षठ्य आचरण प्रतिष्ठा लागिया षठ्य आचरण लोभ हट सदा कामी लोभ हट सदा कामी हमार जीवन सदा पापेरत नाहे को पुण्यर लेशं हमार जीवन सदा पापेरत नाहे को पुण्यर लेशं एनो दुर्जन सज्जन वर्जित अपराधी निरंतर एनो दुर्जन सज्जन वर्जित अपराधी निरंतर शुभ कार्य शून्य सदा नर्थमना शुभ कार्य शून्य सदा नर्थमना नाना दुख जरा जरा नाना दुख जरा जरा हमारा जीवन सदा पापेरत नाहे को पुण्यर लेशं वार्धक्य खोन उपाय विहीन तात्य दिन किंचन वार्धक्य खोन उपाय विहीन तात्य दिन किंचन भक्ति विनोद प्रभुर चरण, भक्ति विनोद प्रभुर चरण, कर दुख निवेदन, कर दुख निवेदन। আমার জীবন সদা পাপেরথ, নাহে কো পুণ্যের লেশা। আমার জীবন সদা পাপেরথ, নাহে কো পুণ্যের লেশা। পরের উদ্বেগ দয়াচি ঝেকতু, দয়াচি জীবের ক্লেশ। পরের উদ্বেগ দয়াচি ঝেকতু, দয়াচি জীবের ক্লেশ। আমার জীবন সদা পাপেরথ, নাহে কো পুণ্যের লেশা। So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is in our Guru Parampara, and now I believe that in no time we will be starting offering the Aarti to Shri Shri Radha Govinda. So for today, we have to conclude this session, and I promise in future again when we meet, we'll read the translation of that bhajan. Thank you. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshitari. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. की बजयो जय गौराचंद्र आरती को शोभन की बजयो जय गौराचंद्र आरती को शोभन जानवी तटवन जगमन लोभा जानवी तटवन जगमन लोभा दक्षिण निताई चाँद भाम गदाधर दक्षिण निताई चाँद भाम गदाधर निकट अद्वैत श्रेणी वास छत्र गारा निकट अद्वैत श्रेणी वास छत्र गारा बसी अच गौराच रत्न सिंहासन बसी अच गौराच रत्न सिंहासन आरती कोरेनी ब्रह्मा आदि देवगण आरती कोरेनी ब्रह्मा आदि देवगण नरहरि आदि कोरी चामरे दुलाय नरहरि आदि कोरी चामर झुलाय। संजय मुकुंज वासु घोष आदि गाय। संजय मुकुंज वासु घोष आदि गाय। शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल। शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल। मधुर मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला। मधुर मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला। शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे। 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 मधुर 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 बाजे। मधुर 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 बाजे। हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। गीताय गोर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। बहु कोटि चंद्र जिनी वदन उज्ज्वल, बहु कोटि चंद्र जिनी वदन उज्ज्वल, गल देश वनमाला कुरजल माला, गल देश वनमाला कुरजल माला, शिवा शुक नारद प्रेम गदा, शिवा शुक नारद प्रेम गदा, भक्ति लिखे गुरार संपादा, भक्ति लिखे गुरार संपादा, की दया जय गौरा चंद आरती को शोभा, की दया जय गौरा चंद आरती को शोभा, जानवी तटीवन जगमन लोबा, जानवी तटीवन जगमन लोबा, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः। हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः। यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः। यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः। गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन। गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन। गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन। गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन। जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधा। जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा। नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभुआचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदा भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की। भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अंतोप मायापुर धाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। समावेद भक्त वृंद की जय। गौ प्रेमानंदे all Vedic assembled devotees, all Vedic assembled devotees, all Vedic assembled devotees, all Vedic Guru and Gauranga. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralad Hiranyakashipu Raksharam Shilatankar Khalai Vito Nasiho Parito Nasiho Yata Yata Amitata Nasiho Baho Nasiho Vire Nasiho Narasiham Gadim Sharanam Prapadyam Pavakar Kamal Vare Nakham Adbhuta Shingham Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhingam Keshavadrutam Narharirutam Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama जय नृसिंहदेव 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 जय नृसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज नरसिंह भगवान की जय भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय Shri Prabhupada ki. So we are obliged to our sponsor. Thanks for sponsoring this Gita reading. And one more reminder, on 14th of December we are having Gita Jayanti celebration. The Sunday before we will be doing the fire sacrifice, and also all the children will be presenting their preparation towards Gita. So please be there and try to sponsor the program, and whichever way you can help, please try to help the temple. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.